Hey, I'm Noodle Yeti, and this is another weekly vault. So I got a lot of keys done as Resto Druid, which, as you cannot tell from here, but actually let's just go ahead and open the vault first, and then I'll show you my progress. So we already have a two-hander, an intellect two-hander. That is kind of cool that it has an on-use though. It's an equip effect too, so it's not actually an on-use. And it's only got a singular stat, all into crit. But it looks like, based upon my current staff, it sacrifices about 1,000 of another stat. So I don't know if I'll do that or not. These are some haste verse boots. This is a trinket, which we don't need, I don't think. Then we've also got some really cheap gloves here. So you know what? I'm actually going to look up this trinket and see if it's good at all for balance. And if not, I think I'm probably just going to take these coins. Alright, so it turns out that most balanced druids are using, or most of the top ones are using these two, House of Cards and Mug's Moxie Jug. However, I did find one balanced druid that was using a Mythtrack carved Blazicon wax. And at least according to Blood Mallet, this one is always within the top 5 for, I think, all the patchwork options. Well, I mean, maybe not top 5. This one's top 7 for a 3 target, but 1 target I believe it goes right back up into the number 4 spot. So it is going to be pretty good, so I think I will just go ahead and take that trinket for my vault here. I think it would be pretty good, especially since it's Mythtrack. It'll give me a Mythtrack balance trinket. But while we go ahead and get this done, go ahead and actually look at progress I've made for each of my specs. As far as my score goes, it's kind of hard to show in game since it's all across different specs. But pretty much, I'm at 2300 overall now, 2k in balance, 1.6 on healer, and 1.2 on feral. I did get a tank key in, but that one's not really that important. As far as healer goes, I have pretty much almost all 4s done now except for Theater of Pain. It was actually really cool to 3-chest that Dark Flame Cleft because when I was doing the Mythic Zeros and I believe the +2, it was actually really difficult. And I actually think I failed and disbanded a group on a 0 because I didn't know how to do the second boss, I think it was. But either way, pretty cool. We got most of it done now, and it looks like most of my what I have to learn is pretty much just getting familiar and practice watching timers, and so that way I could start potting people up before damage comes out. I did get a few keys done as feral, as you probably saw with the 1200 there. I got a couple 10s, one untimed, one time, a couple 9s, whatnot. For the tank, I just got a 2-chest done, or a 2-chested 2 done. I'm not quite sure what I got done on balance, if I'm honest, but it doesn't matter. This is where our score's at. Alright, so as far as gold goes, I wasn't able to do a lot of farming this week. It was my birthday weekend, and I didn't really want to spend time doing things like this. But either way, I did get a really cool thing, which probably made up most of my gold, which was this Feast of the Divine Day. I was able to sell it for 21,000, so which put me up at 51,000, which is kind of good. I mean, multiply that by 4, that's still 250,000. No, that's 200,000, so I'm still behind, but either way, I already have the gold, as you can see, of 300,000. I could pay for next month. I forgot to show where my eye level's at now. I'm at 655. I don't think I got any new gear from anything, but I definitely upgraded stuff. Like I upgraded this Mythtrack, or this champion necklace, as well as a few other things, I think. I'm not quite sure. I basically am not trying to spend any of my crests. I want to use them to craft gear, because I think that's probably the best return ratio for crest to eye level, is if you just craft something Mythtrack. But anyways, I think that's it for a while. Got a trinket, got some progress done, and I just need to practice as a healer. Oh, I haven't showed the WoW OP thing or whatever, so start group. I am Groot. But anyways, as you can see, the WoW OP stats, my current scores over there on the right. Feral, apparently I'm absolutely crap at. 22 damage parse, gray parse, with a 9 interrupt parse. Balance, I'm still not doing great at, although I didn't really get very many runs in last week. Actually, I don't think I got any runs in last week as balance, so I think I got 1. I think that was at 11 last week, but either way, damage is still below average. Guardian, doing okay at, and Restoration, doing okay at as well. Although it looks like across all of them, my lowest on average is going to be my interrupts. So I think that's probably what I have to work on the most, is get familiar and just start interrupting more often. But yeah, that's it for WoW, I think, and I actually want to show off progress on the game. Alright, here we are, and this was the tower UI that I'm currently at. As I said earlier, it was my birthday weekend. There was a lot of things I didn't really want to do. I spent most of my time really not doing much. But anyways, I actually did not erase my goals for last week, and I actually did not meet them because of how little time I spent doing anything. So, tower UI was the first goal. As you can see, it's incomplete. Heal towers. This heal button works. Let's go ahead and actually start the game and we can actually take a look at that. Now, I also wanted the UI to display the tower level, this XP bar. Unfortunately, that doesn't actually work. I'm not quite sure why. I have to spend some time figuring that out. I spent a whole bunch of time integrating levels and things like that into the point system. They don't work, and I have no idea why. I didn't get to the tower upgrades either, but you can see I have a couple buttons here to kind of start working towards that. And I also did not get to my placement restrictions. But anyways, the heal tower works. If we click heal here, you'll see the UI changes. I'm thinking I want to get rid of the heal amount. I actually don't think I want the player to see that. I think it'll be excessive information. Although I do want to display the cost. So I'll have to figure out how to work that into the text that displays here. When you click, you can see our points in the upper left are currently at 525. If we click yes, you see it lowers to 493. The cost right now is a ratio of how many health points were restored converted to points. Anyways, I have to work out the formula on that, but either way, as you can see, the little green bar above the tower disappeared. I have it set so that way the tower widgets, or the health widget doesn't, or I should say the health bar nameplate or whatever, disappears whenever they're at full health, so that's how we know it's at full health. There are a couple issues with this. Say for instance we put this tower up here and then we click on it. You can see the UI widget gets displayed off screen. I need to figure out a way to keep it on screen always. I want to start first by looking at like the native Unreal Engine functions. And if I can't find any, I want to start by adding in some kind of like trigonometry. I think I'll have to figure that out to the point where it always displays above the target, directly above the target, regardless of where it is on screen. And if it's too high up, it'll then push that element down to keep the entire thing on screen. But anyways, there's definitely things I gotta figure out that I'll be working on this week. I'm gonna finish and round out the whole tower UI widget here. I have to figure out the level system. I want to figure out what other information I want to display up here and how I want to display it. I need to get the sacrifice option to work. As you can see, I'm clicking it and it does nothing. Same with the upgrades. These don't do anything either. So yeah, that's where we're at with the game, and that's what happened this week.